morning we're looking at the shortest chapter in the book of Revelation, chapter 15. It's short, but it is introducing. It is an introduction to the next thing that happens, which is the last of the tribulation period, the last 3.5 years of the tribulation period. And it's the introduction to the sevenfold judgment. And God poured out His wrath the way He is going to do. And I hope that I can explain some of the things that happen here in the way that it should be. If God's there, I'll be able to shed a little light on the next period of history as we look to Revelation. Chapter 15. I saw in heaven another great marvelous sign, 7 angels with the 7 last plagues, last because with them God's wrath is completed. And I saw what looked like a sea of glass mixed with fire, and standing beside the sea, those who had been victorious over the beast and his image and over the number of his name. They held harps given them by God and sang the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb. Great and marvelous are your deeds, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are your ways. King of the ages, who will not fear you, O Lord, and bring glory to your name. For you alone are holy. And all nations will come and worship before you, for your righteous acts have been revealed. After this I looked, and in heaven the temple that is the tabernacle of the testimony was opened. Out of the temple came the 7 angels with the 7 plagues. They were dressed in clean, shining linen, wore golden sashes around their chests. Then one of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 angels 7 golden bowls filled with the wrath of God who lives forever and ever. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from His power. And no one could enter the temple until the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were completed. May the Lord richly bless the reading of His word. Amen. Okay. Verse 1. I saw in heaven another great and marvelous sign, 7 angels with the 7 last plagues. Last, because with them God's wrath is completed. Okay, so that the first word there describe where this scene that is revealed to John, and as he writes it down, it says, I saw in heaven. So therefore, what he is seeing is taking place in heaven. He saw the 7 angels and the 7 last plagues. This is not the only time in the Bible that there have been plagues. The plagues that suffered in Egypt by the Hebrew nation, that God sent on the Pharaoh in the country of Egypt to allow the Hebrew children to be free from slavery. Then you have the plagues that were devastating throughout the history of the Hebrew or the nation of Israel. And if you study the history of the nation of Israel, you will find that each and every, I would say, tribulation or hard time was brought on the nation of Israel because of their sin. They have began to commit adultery by worshiping other gods. They suffered. And I look out in this group this morning, we have some widows in attendance here. The attention that God calls for us as a church, one thing He wants us to do is to take care of not only the widows, but the orphans that are left behind. That is the main reason why God destroyed the nation of Israel, because they were not taking care of the widows and orphans. And they were committing adultery by worshiping other gods, or worshiping things that we look at today. The things of the world. The things of the world. And desire those. So we see here that this plague is going to be the last one. And it is. It is the beginning of the last 36 months of the tribulation period. No, the 42 months, 3.5 years of the tribulation period. And with the last 7 plagues, God's wrath is completed. What does that mean to you? It means to me that the world, as we know it today, is going to be completely destroyed and done away with.
Every promise has been completed.
Every promise has been completed. Every promise. Okay, and look at verse 2. And I saw what looked like a sea of glass mixed with fire, standing beside the sea, those who had been victorious over the beast in his image and over the number of his name. They held harps given to them by God. Okay, who are these people? It's not us, okay? It is not us. It is the ones that have accepted God or Christ as their Savior during the first 42 months, or the first half of the tribulation period, that have been won by the 144,000 of the Jews that were out there preaching the Word. That's who was there in this great number. And I read in one of the commentaries this morning that this number was too great to be counted. So we don't know how many, but here it says the number was great. They had suffered because they refused to worship the Antichrist and his name. And his name. Verse 3, and sang the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb. Great and marvelous are your deeds, Lord God Almighty, just and true are your ways. King of the ages. What was the song of Moses? You know, Moses had a tough time. His life was just in 3 distinct 40-year periods. He had a right to sing a song of praise to God because God delivered the nation of Israel under his leadership. Can you imagine as finally Pharaoh has allowed the children of Israel to come into freedom, and as they were allowed to leave Egypt, you know what they left Egypt with? Almost all the riches that the people of Egypt had were given to them. Whether it was voluntarily or not, they brought a lot of the gold and the riches of the natives of Egypt with them. They brought a fortune out of Egypt. But what, after the 10 plagues, what in the world did Pharaoh do? He hardened, God hardened his heart. And he chased them down with his mighty army.
Yep.
Egypt at that time had the largest army of any of the nations of the world. Strongest armies. And they chased after him. And in my mind, I can see Moses as a leader. His hair was flowing and jet black. Now you say, no. You know, Moses' hair was black until when? He met God on Mount Nebo, where he received, or Mount Horeb, where he received the 10 Commandments. He met God, and the glorious appearance of God changed his hair to silver, just like mine almost. I still got a little color up there. If you look hard enough, you'll see it. But he had a right to sing as he marched a great number of people into a wilderness. First thing he came in across was the sea. Yeah. And can you imagine these people? They had a mind of their own. What in the world? What are we going this way for? We're going to march right up to the sea and we'll be pinned in. Can't you imagine that's what some of them said? Moses himself did not know what he was going to do when he got to the seashore. He depended and he trusted in God. And as he took that rod and he put it in the sea, it dried up. And they marched across on dry ground. I mean, it didn't just separate. There's a whole kind of marsh out there. It says that it dried up. And they marched across on dry ground. And here Pharaoh is coming with his army. Now, you don't get 6 million people or 3 or 4 or 5, 6 million people to move very fast, do you?
Oh.
So it took them some time to cross the Red Sea or Red Sea. The Red Sea. It took some time. And they could hear these horses of the army of Pharaoh coming. They knew that they were being followed. And Moses never questioned God. He depended and trusted in God completely. And as the last one of those Hebrew people marched onto the dry ground on the other seashore, what happened? The water covered completely the army of Pharaoh. That's enough to cause somebody to sing for joy and praise. That was the song And we have part of it recorded here. Let's look at verse 4. Who will not fear you, O Lord, and bring glory to your name? For you alone are holy. All nations will come and worship before you, for your righteous acts have been revealed. God's glory was revealed to the people or the nation of Israel that day. And it says here, one thing that I think that we all already know, whether we realize it or not, God created everything. Everything. Not a thing was made that was not made by His hand or His voice, speaking into being. Oh, how we should worship God. We should worship God with all of our lives, and all of our time, and all our energy. We're going to be doing it when we get to heaven anyway. Why not start a little bit right here? Oh, man. Verse 5. After this I looked, and in heaven the temple, that is the tabernacle of the testimony, was open. Okay. The tabernacle was built by who? Moses. Moses. God gave Moses the plans for the tabernacle, and the people opened up what they had brought out of Egypt and gave to Moses and built the tabernacle. That tabernacle was in heaven. It's called the temple. People build a place now and call it a tabernacle, but it was nothing compared to the tabernacle that Moses built. Look back in the Torah, or the books that Moses wrote, and read the description. I mean, it starts in Exodus, in Leviticus, and it gives the description of this beautiful tent that God allowed Moses to build. And you know what? I think, now I don't know, but I think that same tabernacle was seen by John in heaven. What's it say? After this I looked, and in heaven the temple, that is the tabernacle of the testimony, the tabernacle of God,
Yep.
was seen. I believe it's where it is. Then verse 6, out of the temple came the 7 angels with 7 plagues. They were dressed in clean shining linen and wore golden sashes around their chests. I believe it's in Numbers, where it describes the attire of the Levite tribes, and what were they? They were the priest, and this is almost identical to the clothing that the priest of Israel, the Levite tribe, wore. It could have been some of the same ones. We don't know. It's not said or revealed to us here in the scripture. But it was dressed the same. And how much time had passed on? Almost 2,000 years. since the tabernacle was built, until John saw this, somewhere around 1,500 years. But it had been a long time. And we have it recorded for us right here in God's Word. Verse 7, then one of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 angels 7 golden bowls filled with the wrath of God, who lives forever and ever. Have you ever thought about forever and ever? How long that is?
Long time.
That's a long time, isn't it? It is a long time.
Preacher Fred, I heard an evangelist say that an example of eternity, just a slight amount of eternity, was all the beaches in the world, all the sandy beaches in the world, so that if a raven came once every billion zillion years and took 1 grain of sand from every one of the beaches, by the time he got all the sand off all the beaches in the whole world, eternity would just begin.
Just begin. Oh, it takes a long time.
Long time.
Oh, mercy. And then here John sees the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from the power, and no one could enter the temple until the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were completed. Now we think of places of worship today. A lot of the doors to those places are open for the people to come in. But God had filled this place in heaven, and no one was allowed in. Now this is what I get from this scripture. No one was allowed in because of God's presence. How did the people, the Levites, go into the temple? Once a year. And it was filled with what? The Bible describes it as a vapor. God's presence filled the temple. And they were, even though they were the ones that were to lead the nation of Israel in their worship, they were only allowed to go in once a year. And the doors of the temple, I can see them open as the end of the play, where the players came to an end. Now the next 2 and part of chapter 18 will be dealing with the 7 bowl judgments. And you're going to experience, and I'll do the best that I can to describe what happens with the pouring out of all of these bowls, because it was for all nations, all over the world. Let's stand. Lord, we just give you honor, praise, and glory for being here today with us and allowing us to be in your presence. And we pray that as we leave this place, that you would go with us, that you would keep us safe until we're all able to be together again. And for the bountiful supply of food that has been brought in, we just lift it up to you and say thank you, Lord. And ask your blessings upon it for the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies as we strive to serve you. For these things we ask in Jesus' holy and precious name.